Hello, lovely friends. How are you all doing today? I hope you're well. Goodness me, it's the end of November, at the end of month 43. This month has, I think of all the months this year, actually all the months in the 43 months, this is the month that has flown the most quickly. It doesn't seem like 2 minutes since I was sat here a month ago having a chat when I was feeling super tired. That hasn't changed. Yeah, it's kind of, I was going to say it's kind of troubling how time is going so quickly. It's not that it's troubling, it's just that it's kind of a little bit annoying because there's so much I want to do, both today and in life in general. I want the clock to stop. I want to kind of have this whole year all over again. No regrets, but just, yeah, I wish it would just slow down a bit because I'm not doing half of what I want to do. And that's slightly the subject for today. Can you see me in the gloaming, by the way? You'll see this on Monday evening, but I'm actually recording on Sunday evening because I've got a really, really busy day ahead of me on Monday. I won't have time to do this on Monday, so we're doing it now, in the dark, in the gloaming. Now, November, I'm not going to be maudling, I'm not going to go on one, but November has been a little bit of a roller coaster in terms of mood. Do you remember at the end of September, I was talking about how often I get this kind of winter blues thing. I think that's normal. I think most of us get that to some degree or other, especially those of us who garden, for example. And, you know, we spend so much time outside in the sunshine and bright, strong light. And then suddenly we get to winter, because we're about to be into winter. We're indoors a lot more, we're not getting the light, seasonal affective disorder and all that. And I think I have suffered with that over the years. But then last winter was particularly awful. It was blooming miserable. I can laugh about it now, thank goodness. So at the end of September, I was saying how I wanted to change my mindset. I wanted to kind of, how to put it, I wanted to nip the problem in the bud, as it were. So if I felt those feelings coming on, to just kind of say, stop, right, what can I do about it? And actually, throughout most of October, I felt great. I felt really chipper, more chipper than I normally feel in October. Coming into November, also felt that. But in the last 2 weeks, I've had a couple of days of being really, really quite maudlin, really quite down. And for no particular reason. Because it's for no particular reason, I'm not too disconcerted. I do think it's normal. But what I have done is I'm staying on this track of promising myself to be aware of that emotion coming on and to say, right, hang on a minute, shake myself. This doesn't need to be the way. It can be a different way. Change the mindset, what have you. So about a week or so ago, it was weird because it was the same day that Paul had his really down in the dumps day. Maybe the moon was doing something, I don't know. But yeah, Paul was feeling really down in the dumps too. I'd had my usual kind of running around in the community day all day. Came home. I was tired. And also my knees have been really rubbish in the last 2 weeks. So I don't know if that's fed into it as well. But anyway, I came home from having my little run around, turned the computer on, and one of the first things that popped up into my feed was Paul's day on the plot, that he does it every day on Planet Vegetarian, and then all of that gets put together once a week for Week on the Plot on YouTube. And he said, oh, I'm having a bit of a wobbly day. And the thing is, as soon as he said it, I burst into tears. It's ridiculous. I was crying my eyes out. So, why are you crying, Gregory? Why are you crying? I don't know why. I guess there was just something there that had been maybe bubbling up for a while. Maybe I've been keeping a lid on it. I don't know. But I did the thing I always do when I'm in that frame of mind, and that is I let myself have a blooming good cry for about an hour. Just uncontrollable crying. It's ridiculous. And then after an hour or so, blew my nose, dried my eyes, washed my face and said, this is ridiculous, you can't do this, get on with things, and felt a bit better. But yeah, I've just had that sense of, it's like down again. And we're not even into winter yet. So, I'm just trying to make myself really aware of it and trying to grab moments to sort of snap myself out of it. And this is kind of what I've been thinking about in the last couple of days, about what I wanted to talk to you about today, is it's all about finding things to do that make you feel happy, distracting oneself. I think I've made a bit of an error, almost like a rookie error, for someone who considers herself emotionally intelligent. Yeah, I made a bit of an error in November in that I've hardly been in the garden at all. I was in the garden right at the beginning of the month to film the tour. Then I had a day in the garden, I think it was Bonfire Day, 5th of November, doing the flint corn, because I was remarking that there was no wood smoke. Then a couple of days later, I had another day and I filmed the jobs in the herb bed and jobs around the deck. That was all by about the 7th or 8th of November. And that's been it. I've been to the garden once in the meantime to do some harvesting, just to get some kale and what have you. But I haven't been there, I haven't gardened, I haven't done any work there, I haven't done any more harvesting. And I think that might be one of the keys to why I've started to have this kind of like down feeling. Because I love the garden, full stop, love being outside, but I think I've just been missing the light, the fresh air, the company to a degree, although in fairness, at this time of year, there are less and less people around. I see less and less people in the garden, have less and less conversations. But yeah, I think it's been I feel a bit stupid to myself really for not going there more often, not doing more. It's partly because, there have been things come up this month that I've been responding to rather than... It was something I was talking about with Richard and Paul the other day when they visited, more of that in a second. But I said I felt like a lot of this month I've been reactive. I'm just reacting to stuff rather than being proactive, which is a word I hate, and I must find another word for proactive. But yeah, I haven't been proactive, as in I haven't been, for example, deciding what to do with my day. This is what I'm going to do. I go and do it. Rather, I get up in the morning and the first phone call comes from someone who needs something from me. And I react to that and respond to that and deal with that. I must learn to say no from time to time. But I hate saying no. When someone needs something, you know how it goes. So yeah, I think that was a big mistake in November, was to suddenly have this kind of like no garden. Because, you know, all through October, I was really busy. I was determined to get the garden put to bed for winter, as much as it needs to be put to bed for winter. And I cracked on with that. I was in the garden a lot to do that. Brilliant. Oh gosh, it's like drugs, isn't it? Well, I don't know, because I've never been into drugs. But it's like I've gone cold turkey. I've gone cold turkey on the garden this month. I've just thought that out loud with you guys. Maybe that's what it is, that I've gone from spending a lot of time in the garden every couple of days or so, literally every couple of days, sometimes daily, to nothing. So I think I've really done myself a disservice by doing that. So note to self, get back to the garden for whatever reason. If it's for harvesting, go and harvest, but don't harvest in a hurry. You know, if I'm going to go and pick a few leaves or whatever, not carrots, although maybe some of the carrots are big enough by now. But if I'm going to harvest, don't kind of think to myself, I've got 10 minutes whilst I'm out and about, I'll nip to the garden, grab my leaves. Give myself an hour so I can get my leaves and then just sit, if nothing else. I won't sit, there are things that need doing. So yeah, I think it's quite useful to reflect on these feelings. Firstly, I think it's useful to acknowledge them and to say, oh, yeah, I'm starting to feel a bit down. And then to think, why is that? And it may be like the tears. They may be for no reason other than that something's bubbled up that I can't identify. Fine, have a cry, let it go. But also reflect on, have I been doing something different recently to what I was doing a month ago when I was feeling more, you know, up and more my usual sort of like peppy self. So yeah, I think definitely it was a mistake to not be in the garden this month. However, the mistake wasn't about not going to the garden. The mistake was allowing myself to be distracted by not being able to say no. It's all kind of, it's kind of like you sort of, you start here and then you go backwards. There was the point that I made the mistake. So definitely the plan in December will be to spend more time in the garden, even if I'm not doing anything, just to go there. I think also the physical action of it, the physicality of being there, I've probably not been moving as much this month. I do go out most days. I do my bits and bobs in the community. Probably 2-3 times a week I'm off to the post office to take mail. When I'm out and about, I usually see someone and have a conversation in the street. But it's not quite the same as that more cardiovascular moving that I do in the garden. Get that blood pumping, get that endorphin release from working hard, get that gorgeous rush from it all. So yes, mistake, tick, learned, December, more time in the garden. The other thing I've thought about in the last few days is is that thing of, again, it's kind of like an awareness, being emotionally aware of when I am happy, is there something in particular that's making me feel happy? Is it a general feeling? Is it something particular? So likewise, when I'm feeling a bit down, I think, oh, is there something specific or is it a general malaise I'm experiencing? And with the happiness, I've thought about this a lot in the last few days and it's really obvious. It's suddenly so obvious to me. It's like, Vivi, you numpty, why didn't you kind of hit upon this before? Comedy, laughing makes me feel great. I've been really enjoying in the last few weeks these kind of late night sessions when I can't sleep, or when I'm not necessarily can't sleep, but I'm wide awake because that's my habit, of tuning into the channel Dave and watching the umpteenth rerun of things like QI, Mock the Week, Have I Got News for You, Would I Lie to You, all of those great kind of comedy panel shows, comedy, a bit of political satire. I love a bit of political satire. Watching these bright, smart, funny people doing their quick one-liners, me belly laughing and thinking, you know what? Great. This is great. So on those days when I think, oh, maybe I'm sliding into a bit of gloom, say to myself, stop it right now, Missy. We're not having any of that. Quick, bung some comedy on the computer, the telly, whatever it is. To just kind of snap me out of it, to stop me going on that slide. And I've got to say, holding it up now, I finally finished series 1 and 2 of Kath and Kim that Richard and Paul lent me. Oh my goodness, I've loved it, I've laughed. Richard and Paul referenced this the other day when they did their Sunday chat, that when they came for their visit, Richard and I, we can't help ourselves going to these really awful Aussie accents. Just not even quoting from the show, but just talking to each other in these really, really crappy accents. Actually, I think we're brilliant. Obviously I do. And it's so funny because I watched the last couple of episodes this morning as I was I've just done a load of eBay. So I had loads of parcels to make up, so I put Kath and Kim on. And as I was doing my parcels, I was going into this really bad accent again. I was wrapping the parcels, talking to them in a really bad Aussie accent. But you know what? It made me laugh. Well, you can see now it's making me smile again. It made me laugh. It made me smile. You know what? Maybe it wouldn't amuse other people. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point I'm making is, if there's something that makes you laugh, if there's an old series on telly, go online and find it, because so many of these shows, apart from The Good Life, you can't get The Good Life, but there are so many of these fab shows which you can see online on YouTube. I don't know how people get away with it actually because of the copyright, but you can find them. So if that's something you like, go through one day, find all the episodes, bookmark them. Don't necessarily watch them all in one go, but bookmark them. So if you're having a slightly moment, quickly whack one of them on, make yourself laugh. If laughing is the thing that gets you up again. And listen, I'm not being glib. Of course, I know, a lot of you speak to me privately. And from my own experience, I know there are some things in life which a half-hour comedy show is not going to fix. It's not going to make you feel better. I'm not talking about situations where you've got really, major life events going on and major trauma, major sadness going on. I'm not talking about that at all. Of course not. I'm just talking about this kind of slight doldrumy winter bluesiness that so many of us get. It's nothing serious. It's just a bit of lack of light, a bit of the blues. Yeah, that can be fixed with comedy. Can you excuse me for just one moment, please? Sorry about that. I saw my phone flashing out of the corner of my eye and thought I'd better answer it. Glad I did. Nothing too urgent, but something I need to attend to. Yes, so, where are we? Yes, so I need to, going into winter, because tomorrow's the 1st of December. As far as I'm concerned, that's winter. That's the beginning of winter. I know meteorologically it's probably not, but my little recipe for myself is get my outdoor time, and not just a quick run to the post office, but, you know, make sure I get my garden time. Do things or watch things or partake in things which make me laugh, because that really helps me. Get moving. So if I'm, if I'm indoors and I'm looking over there now, if I'm doing some sewing or whatever it is, if I'm being really static, say to myself, and it comes back to the outdoors thing, even if I'm not going to the garden, maybe in the middle of the day, if I'm having quite a still day, go for a quick half-hour march to the local park, around it a couple of times. I can't do much more than half an hour of walking, unfortunately, because it really starts to hurt otherwise. But even if I spend 10 minutes to go to the park, sit on the park bench for 10 minutes and watch other people go around and then get home, good. Outdoor time, moving, bit of fresh air. Oh, but the biggest thing is time with friends, isn't it? Undoubtedly, the last couple of days I felt a little bit flat again, because I'm post my little social bubble day with Richard and Paul. We always have such a great time together. They make me laugh my head off. I mean, we have serious conversations. We put the world to rights. We pull all the politics apart and put it back together again. But it's been funny, the last couple of days I've kind of remembered parts of conversation and chuckled or guffawed again. We were sharing funny theatre anecdotes, and I just love it. Just laugh so much. I know it's coming, as in, I know when I've had my time with them that the next day I'm going to feel a bit down in the dumps, because suddenly the house feels really quiet and empty again. And, this year, life, the flat, everything has been more quiet than usual. I'm used to living on my own. I'm fine with that. But of course, in a normal year, I don't want to go on about it too much, but I would meet up with friends in the park for a picnic, or, sometimes friends would treat me to a night in the pub. I'm not talking about just Richard and Paul, but all sorts of other friends. But because of the situation, it's a case of I had to pick one set of friends to bubble with. I picked the best ones. Actually, they picked me. I really wanted to pick them. I didn't dare think they would say yes. They only picked me because their other 17 friends refused. Yeah, I know. No. Normally, I would say that at least once a week I have a really good natter powwow with a good friend, as opposed to the kind of the in the street conversations, which are always kind of glib and just in passing. I mean, it's lovely to see folk and have a chat, but there's never any depth to those conversations. Whereas being able to have the guys over here for a whole day, we can have our stupid, silly Aussie talking moments. Oh yeah, look at me. But we can also have conversations about kind of more important stuff, deeper stuff, difficult stuff. And I think that's what I've really missed this year. We've seen each other kind of regularly, but not frequently, if that makes sense. About once a month or so, we all try and meet up. But once a month, that's not much, is it, for having... Anyway, I'm very grateful to them. I'm very grateful for our time together. I'm grateful for friends, full stop. And I think also, if any of you are feeling a bit struggling that way, just get in touch with a friend. I know we can't meet up necessarily, but that's the joy of the interwebby, computery thing, isn't it? Where we can do these kind of video, what's it called? Video calling face-to-face, FaceTime, whatever. We can do that. So yeah, if you're suddenly feeling maudlin for no reason, you don't know why, get in touch with a friend, and not necessarily to say to them, I'm feeling rubbish, help me, but just to talk about your favourite episode of Dad's Army, whatever it is, just to have some kind of normal banter with your besties. It's what it's all about, isn't it? Banter with your besties. So yes, couple of slightly days after having seen the chaps, but that always happens. I have learnt to expect it and know that won't last too long because I'll get involved with something else soon. The bottom line is this. I know that there are a lot of you who start to feel a bit bleh as we go into these really darker, chilly days. Think about the things you love to do. Think about the things that make you happy. Not necessarily that cost any money, because we're all a bit skinned, aren't we? But yeah, think about what makes you laugh, what makes you happy, what do you enjoy doing? And you know what? Even if you have to force yourself, even if it's for 10 minutes in the day, to say, I'm going to force myself to do this thing, because before you know it, you'll start doing that thing and you'll get the effect of it, as in the lifting of the mood and your emotions, I hope. So yeah, go and watch some comedy. Go and have a gossip with a really good friend, even if you have to do it via social media. Thank goodness we've got it. Get outside, go for a walk in the park, get your camera out, go and give yourself a challenge of something to photograph. Go and photograph the most beautiful tree you can find, whatever it takes. Don't just sit on your sofa or sit in your bed, wherever it is you sit. Don't just sit there and assume that's how the next few months have to be, because they don't have to be like that. You can do something about it. Yeah, you can. I'm going to try anyway. So, it's just a quickie today. I say that, I don't know how long I've been nattering on for. Oh, sorry, excuse me, I did a lip smack and a cough then. I do beg your pardon. What I'm really excited about is... I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at you then. I was looking at my advent calendar in the screen. Yes, tomorrow I can. Well, not tomorrow because I'm doing this on Sunday, but tomorrow, Tuesday, 1st of December, I can open my first window, and I can't wait to see what it says. So, as I mentioned previously, I don't think I'll open every window with you every day. I'm not sure. That might be too much. You might be so fed up with me before Christmas Day that you unsubscribe forever. But on my Tuesday, 1st of December, I'll be opening that window with you. And I will also pop into that video my fumbling mess of an attempt to change my rotary cutter blade. I did do it. Oh, what a faff and a fumble. Please always learn from my mistakes. So you'll see that on Tuesday. And then for the rest of December, well, we'll just see what happens, won't we? I sincerely sincerely plan to get back into the garden, and I definitely want to bring you some bits of the garden too, because I think many of you are like me, you're missing garden time too. So even if I'm not particularly doing anything specific that I want to share in terms of this is how I'm doing it, maybe have a go, even if I'm not doing anything specific, the plan will be get to the garden and bring some of it to you too. So if you can't get out, if you're feeling a bit like me too, hopefully just a few shots of soil and green stuff and a bit of cardboard will make you feel perkier too. All right, my lovelies, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to say cheerio to you all for now. At the end of month 43, madness. I will see you again really soon. I will see you tomorrow, the 1st of December, for the first window on the calendar. So until then, please look after yourselves. Please look after yourselves. But also look after the people around you. We really need to look after each other. And if you're feeling a bit meh, write the day off and go and watch some comedy. It might just do the trick. And even if you waste one day doing that and it does the trick, if that sets you up then for the rest of the week to be good again, that's so worth it. All right, my lovelies, I'm going to go and, I think, rewatch the whole of series 1 and 2 all over again. Look at me, look at me. Don't look at me. I'll see you again soon, lovelies. Please look after yourselves. Bye for now.